The day he chose this Massey Ferguson 1155, the bank called it the biggest mistake in county history. On March 14th, 1981, a Saturday morning that started at 18 degrees below zero, Dale Richter walked into Holmgren Implement in Langdon, North Dakota, and told the dealer he wanted to buy the Massey Ferguson 1155 sitting in the showroom. Dale was 28 years old. He had been farming his father's land for 6 years. He had never borrowed more than $15,000 in his life. The 1155 cost $62,000. The dealer, a man named Kenneth Holmgren, who had sold tractors in that town for 31 years, looked at Dale for a long time before he said anything. Then he asked Dale if he understood what was happening to farms in North Dakota. Dale said he did. Kenneth asked if Dale had talked to his father. Dale said he had. Kenneth asked what his father said. Dale told him his father said no. Kenneth nodded. He told Dale to come back Monday if he still wanted to do this. Dale said he would be back Monday. Kenneth said he did not think Dale would be back Monday. Dale left. He did not go home. He drove 60 miles south to a cafe in Devil's Lake where no one knew him and sat in a booth by himself for 2 hours. He ordered coffee and toast. He did not eat the toast. Outside the window, the wind pushed snow across empty fields that had been for sale for 8 months. Dale Richter grew up on a farm that his grandfather bought in 1946 with money saved from working as a welder in the shipyards during the war. The farm was 480 acres of flat, glacial, till northwest of Langdon, land that grew wheat and barley in years with enough rain and grew almost nothing in years without it. Dale's grandfather ran the place until a heart attack killed him in 1959. Dale's father, Leonard, took over when he was 26 years old with a wife, 2 young sons, and equipment so worn out that neighbors said Leonard would be lucky to make it 3 years. Leonard made it 22 years. He was not a man who believed in risk. He bought used equipment. He borrowed only when he had no choice. He planted conservatively. He sold his crop as soon as it was in the bin because he did not trust the futures market. In good years, he paid off debt. In bad years, he did not buy anything. By 1975, when Dale graduated high school, Leonard owned the land free and clear and ran machinery that was 15 years old but functional. He told Dale that farming was not about getting big, it was about staying. That Dale worked for his father for 6 years after high school. He did not go to college. He did not want to. What he wanted was to farm, and his father let him, splitting the income 50-50, even though Leonard still made all the decisions. Dale married a girl from Cavalier named Jennifer in 1977. They moved into a small house in Langdon that her parents helped them buy. Jennifer worked as a secretary at the county extension office. Dale worked the farm, and in winters, he worked construction in Grand Forks framing houses. By 1980, Dale and Jennifer had saved $11,000. They kept it in a savings account at First National Bank in Langdon. Dale had never told his father how much they had saved. He was not sure why he kept it from him, except that he knew his father would tell him to use it to pay down debt, and Dale did not have any debt to pay down. What Dale had was a growing belief that his father's caution was going to bury them both. In 1980, grain prices were high. Wheat hit $4.20 a bushel in July. Barley went to $3.50. All over North Dakota, farmers who had spent the 1970s barely surviving suddenly had money, and they did what people do when they suddenly have money. They expanded. They bought land. They bought equipment. They borrowed against future harvests. Dale watched his neighbors buy new tractors, new combines, new grain bins. He watched them add acreage. He listened to them talk at the co-op about 5-year plans, about doubling production, about getting big or getting out. His father listened too, and his father said the same thing every time. He said those men were fools. He said land prices were inflated. He said equipment prices were insane. He said borrowing against the future was how you lost everything. Dale did not argue with his father, but he also did not agree with him. What Dale saw was that the men expanding were the men under 40. The men standing still were the men over 50, and Dale was 28. In January of 1981, grain prices started to fall. By February, wheat was down to $3.80. Barley was at 310. The men who had borrowed to expand were not worried yet, but they were watching. Dale's father said it was starting. He did not say what it was, but Dale knew. What his father meant was that the collapse was starting, the thing his father had been predicting for 10 years, the thing that always happened when farmers got confident. Dale asked his father what they should do. His father said they should do nothing. They should plant what they always planted, harvest what they always harvested, sell what they always sold, and be grateful they did not owe anybody anything. Dale nodded, but that night he could not sleep. He lay next to Jennifer in the dark and thought about his father's 480 acres and 15-year-old equipment and 50-50 split, and he thought about what his life would look like in 10 years if nothing changed. He would be 38. He would still be working for his father. He would still be farming the same acres. He would still be running the same machinery. And his father would still be making all the decisions. On March 9th, 1981, a farmer named Eugene Vetter, who owned 1,200 acres south of Langdon, called Dale and asked if he wanted to buy a John Deere 4440. Eugene said he was selling some equipment to reduce debt. He said he would sell Dale the 4440 for $38,000, which was $8,000 less than he paid for it 2 years earlier. Dale said he would think about it. He did not tell his father about the call. That night, Dale sat at the kitchen table with Jennifer and told her he thought they should buy equipment. Jennifer asked what equipment. Dale said he did not know yet, but something bigger, something that would let them farm more efficiently, maybe take on more acres if the opportunity came up. Jennifer asked if his father agreed. Dale said he had not talked to his father about it yet. Jennifer looked at him for a long time. Then she asked how much it would cost. Dale said probably $30,000 or $40,000. Jennifer reminded him they had $11,000 saved. Dale said he knew. Jennifer asked if he was talking about borrowing. Dale said he was. Jennifer asked what his father would say. Dale said his father would say no. Jennifer asked what Dale thought. Dale said he thought his father was wrong. On March 12th, Dale drove to Holmgren Implement to look at used equipment. He had been in that dealership 100 times in his life, but always with his father, and always looking, never buying. Kenneth Holmgren knew Dale's family. He knew Leonard bought used and paid cash and never financed anything. When Dale walked in alone, Kenneth asked where Leonard was. Dale said his father was not coming. Kenneth nodded slowly. He asked what Dale was looking for. Dale said he was not sure. Kenneth walked him through the lot. There were 3 used tractors for sale. A Massey Ferguson 255, 7 years old, $32,000. An International 1086, 9 years old, $28,000. And a Ford 8700, 4 years old, $41,000. Dale looked at all of them. He asked questions about hours, maintenance, repair history. Kenneth answered everything honestly. Then Kenneth said there was one more tractor Dale should see, but it was not used. It was in the showroom. Dale followed him inside. The Massey Ferguson 1155 sat in the center of the showroom under overhead lights, red and silver, and massive, 215 horsepower, articulated 4-wheel drive, a machine built for operations running thousands of acres, not hundreds. Kenneth did not say anything at first. He let Dale walk around it. Dale had seen pictures of the 1155 in farm magazines, but he had never stood next to one. It was larger than anything his father had ever owned. It was larger than anything anyone in their township owned. Kenneth finally spoke. He said Massey Ferguson had only built the 1155 for a few years. He said it was the most powerful tractor Massey had ever made. He said it was designed for big operations in Canada and the Western Plains. He said it was probably too much tractor for Dale's farm. Dale asked how much. Kenneth said $62,000. Dale did not say anything. Kenneth said he could finance it over 5 years at 16% if Dale could come up with 20% down. Dale asked how much that would be. Kenneth said $12,400. Dale still did not say anything. Kenneth asked if Dale had talked to his father. Dale said not yet. Kenneth said Dale should talk to his father. Dale nodded. Then he asked Kenneth a question. He asked if Kenneth thought farms were going to get smaller or bigger in the next 10 years. Kenneth looked at Dale. He said he thought most farms were going to disappear. Dale asked what would happen to the ones that did not disappear. Kenneth said they would get bigger. Dale thanked him and left. That night, Dale told Jennifer he wanted to buy the 1155. Jennifer stared at him. She asked if he was serious. Dale said he was. She asked how they would afford it. Dale said they would use their savings for the down payment and finance the rest. Jennifer asked what his father would say. Dale said his father would try to stop him. Jennifer asked if Dale was going to let him. Dale said no. Jennifer asked why Dale wanted a tractor that size. Dale said because if farms were going to consolidate, he wanted to be ready. Jennifer asked ready for what? Dale said ready to be one of the ones that survived. Jennifer was quiet for a long time. Then she said she thought Dale was scared. Dale asked what he was scared of. Jennifer said she thought he was scared of turning into his father. Dale did not answer that. Jennifer asked what would happen if grain prices kept falling. Dale said they would make it work. Jennifer asked how. Dale said he would get a winter job, work construction, do whatever it took to make the payments. Jennifer asked for how long. Dale said however long it took. Jennifer asked if Dale had thought about what would happen if he was wrong. Dale said he had. Jennifer asked what would happen. Dale said they would lose everything. Jennifer started crying. She asked Dale not to do this. Dale told her he had to. On March 14th, Dale walked into Holmgren Implement and told Kenneth he wanted to buy the 1155. Kenneth asked if Dale had talked to his father. Dale said he had. Kenneth asked what his father said. Dale said his father told him not to do it. Kenneth asked if Dale was sure. Dale said he was. Kenneth said he needed to make a phone call before they went any further. He called First National Bank in Langdon and asked for the bank president, a man named Robert Carlyle. Kenneth put the call on speaker. He told Robert that Dale Richter wanted to finance a Massey Ferguson 1155. There was a long silence on the line. Then Robert asked if Dale's father was co-signing. Kenneth said no. Robert asked what collateral Dale had. Kenneth said the tractor would be the collateral. Robert said that was not enough. He said the bank would need a lien on Dale's land. Dale said he did not own any land. Robert asked what Dale did own. Dale said he owned a house in town with his wife. Robert asked what it was worth. Dale said probably $30,000. Robert was quiet. Then he said he could not approve the loan. Kenneth asked why not. Robert said because grain prices were falling, land values were falling, and half the farmers in the county were over-leveraged. He said lending Dale Richter $62,000 for a tractor would be the biggest mistake in county history. Kenneth thanked him and hung up. Dale sat in Kenneth's office and did not say anything. Kenneth asked if Dale had expected that. Dale said he had not. Kenneth said there were other banks. Dale asked if Kenneth thought another bank would approve the loan. Kenneth said probably not. Dale stood up to leave. Kenneth stopped him. He asked Dale why he wanted the tractor so badly. Dale said because he thought it was the right move. Kenneth asked what Dale's father thought. Dale said his father thought Dale was making a mistake that would ruin his life. Kenneth nodded. He said he had a son about Dale's age who worked in Fargo selling insurance. He said his son had not wanted to take over the dealership. Kenneth said he understood that. He said sometimes a man had to make his own mistakes. Then Kenneth said he would carry the loan himself. Dale looked at him. Kenneth said he would sell Dale the 1155 for $62,000. Dale would put down $12,400, and Kenneth would finance the remaining $49,600 over 5 years at 16% interest, payments of $1,219 a month. Kenneth said if Dale missed 2 payments, Kenneth would repossess the tractor. Dale asked why Kenneth would do that. Kenneth said because 30 years ago someone took a chance on him when a bank would not, and he had never forgotten it. Dale shook his hand. On March 21, 1981, the Massey Ferguson 1155 was delivered to Dale's farm. His father was there when the truck arrived. Leonard Richter stood in the driveway and watched them unload a tractor that cost more than his entire operation was worth. He did not help. He did not speak. When the truck left, Leonard walked over to where Dale was standing next to the 1155. Leonard looked at the tractor. Then he looked at his son. He asked Dale if he understood what he had done. Dale said he did. Leonard asked if Dale had any idea what would happen if grain prices kept falling. Dale said he did. Leonard asked if Dale had thought about what this would do to Jennifer. Dale said he had. Leonard asked if Dale was trying to prove something. Dale did not answer. Leonard said he had spent 22 years building a farm that did not owe anybody anything, and his son had just thrown that away in one morning. Dale said it was not Leonard's debt. It was his. Leonard said that did not matter. He said when Dale failed, it would take the family name down with him. Then Leonard got in his truck and drove away. Dale and his father did not speak for 4 months. In April of 1981, Dale planted 480 acres of wheat and barley using the 1155. The tractor performed flawlessly. It pulled a 16-bottom plow through fields that would have required 2 passes with his father's old Massey Ferguson 165. It cut planting time by a third. Dale had never operated equipment that powerful. It felt like cheating. But every night when he came in from the field, he sat at the kitchen table and looked at the payment book Kenneth had given him, and he felt something else. The first payment was due May 1st, $1,219. Dale had never owed anyone $1,219 a month for anything. Jennifer did not talk about the tractor. She went to work at the extension office every morning and came home every evening and made dinner and did not ask Dale how he was feeling. Dale knew she was angry, but he also knew she was scared, and he did not know how to fix that except to make the payments. In June, wheat prices fell to $3.40 a bushel. Barley fell to $2.90. Dale's father called him for the first time since March. Leonard did not apologize for what he had said. He just asked if Dale was okay. Dale said he was. Leonard said grain prices were going to keep falling. Dale said he knew. Leonard asked if Dale had enough to make his payment. Dale said he did. Leonard said good. Then he hung up. Dale made the May payment on time. He made the June payment on time. In July, he harvested 210 acres of wheat that averaged 31 bushels per acre. At $3.40 a bushel, that was $6,510. He harvested 270 acres of barley that averaged 40 bushels per acre. At $2.90 a bushel, that was $10,800. Total revenue, $17,310. After seed, fertilizer, fuel, and insurance, Dale cleared $8,000. His tractor payment for July was $1,219. August, $1,219. September, $1,219. October, $1,219. By November, Dale had made 7 payments, $8,333 total. He had $42,267 left to pay. He had $600 in the bank. In December of 1981, Dale started working construction in Grand Forks. He framed houses in below-zero weather for $9 an hour, 40 hours a week. He left the house at 5 in the morning and got home at 7 at night. Jennifer still was not talking to him much, but she was not yelling either, and Dale thought maybe that meant they would make it. On December 15th, Dale made his payment. On January 15th, he made his payment. Wheat prices hit $3 a bushel. The first farm auction in their township was scheduled for February. A man named Jim Korsbeck, who farmed 800 acres and had bought a new combine in 1980, could not make his loan payments. The bank foreclosed. Dale went to the auction. He did not bid on anything. He just watched. Jim's equipment sold for 50 cents on the dollar. His land sold for $2.10 an acre, half what he had paid for it 3 years earlier. Jim stood in the corner of the barn during the auction and did not look at anyone. After it was over, Dale walked up to him. He did not know what to say, so he just shook Jim's hand. Jim looked at Dale and asked if Dale had bought the 1155. Dale said he had. Jim nodded. He said Dale was either the smartest man in the county or the dumbest, and he would find out which in about 2 years. Then Jim walked away. Dale never saw him again. In 1982, Dale planted, harvested, and cleared $9,000. He made every payment. He worked construction all winter. In 1983, he cleared $7,000. He made every payment. He worked construction all winter. In 1984, he cleared $6,000. He made every payment. That year, 3 more farms in the township were auctioned. One of them was Eugene Vedder, the man who had called Dale in 1981 trying to sell the John Deere 4440. Eugene had expanded too fast, borrowed too much. When the bank called his loans, he had no way to pay. His 1,200 acres sold in parcels. Dale bought one parcel, 160 acres, directly adjacent to his father's land for $190 an acre. He paid cash. The cash came from his construction wages. His father did not say anything about Dale buying land, but Dale saw him drive past the new acreage twice in 1 week, which was not like him. In 1985, grain prices stabilized. Wheat hit $3.60, barley hit $3.10. Dale planted 640 acres. He cleared $14,000. It was the first year since buying the 1155 that he had money left over after payments. He did not spend it. He put it in the bank. Jennifer asked if they could take a vacation. Dale said not yet. Jennifer did not argue. In 1986, Dale cleared $16,000. In 1987, he cleared $18,000. He made every payment. He worked construction every winter. By the end of 1987, he had paid off $38,000 of the loan. He had $11,600 left. His father came over one night in January of 1988. Leonard had aged in the 7 years since Dale bought the 1155. He was 61 now, talking about slowing down. He asked Dale if he regretted buying the tractor. Dale said no. Leonard asked if it had been worth it. Dale said he did not know yet. Leonard said he had been wrong about Dale. Dale asked what he meant. Leonard said he thought Dale would fail, and he had not, and Leonard was glad he had been wrong. Dale did not know what to say to that. Leonard left. Dale sat at the table for an hour after his father was gone. In March of 1988, Dale made his final payment on the Massey Ferguson 1155. He had owned the tractor for 7 years. He had paid $62,000 plus $21,000 in interest, $83,000 total. The tractor had 4,200 hours on it. It had never broken down. Kenneth Holmgren called Dale the day after the last payment cleared and told him he was proud of him. Dale thanked him. Kenneth said most men who bought equipment in 1981 did not make it. He said Dale was one of the only ones. Dale said he knew. Kenneth asked what Dale was going to do now. Dale said he was going to keep farming. Kenneth laughed. He said that was the right answer. In 1989, Dale's father had a stroke. It did not kill him, but it ended his ability to farm. Leonard turned the operation over to Dale completely. Dale did not change the 50-50 split. His father argued, said Dale should take it all, but Dale refused. He said his father had held the farm together when no one thought he could, and that was worth half. Leonard did not argue after that. Dale now farmed 640 acres with equipment he owned outright. He had no debt. Wheat prices were still modest, but they were steady. In 1991, another farm came up for auction, 320 acres west of town. Dale bid on it. He won at $230 an acre. He paid cash. He now farmed 960 acres. He was 38 years old. In 1995, Dale bought another piece of land, 400 acres from a widow whose husband had died and whose children did not want to farm. He paid $280 an acre. He now farmed 1,360 acres. The Massey Ferguson 1155 now had 8,200 hours. Dale had replaced the clutch once, the hydraulic pump once, and 2 tires. Otherwise, the tractor ran exactly the way it had in 1981. In 1998, grain prices spiked. Wheat hit $5.20 a bushel. Dale cleared $64,000 that year. It was more money than he had ever made farming. He used it to buy another parcel, 240 acres at $300 an acre. He now farmed 1,600 acres. He was 45 years old. He owned everything. He owed nothing. In 2003, Dale's father died. Leonard was 76. He had lived 22 years past the stroke. At the funeral, men came up to Dale and told him stories about his father. They told him Leonard had been the most cautious man they had ever known. They said Leonard had survived by refusing to take risks. They said Dale was different. They said Dale had taken the biggest risk any of them had ever seen and somehow made it work. Dale did not know how to respond to that. What he wanted to say was that his father had been right about almost everything, and the only reason Dale survived was because he got lucky. But he did not say that. He just thanked them. In 2008, Dale turned 55. He had been farming for 33 years. He owned 1,600 acres. He ran the Massey Ferguson 1155, which now had 12,000 hours, and two other tractors, a Massey Ferguson 8160 and a Massey Ferguson 6490, both bought used, both paid for in cash. He had no debt. His son Travis, who was 26, had come back to the farm after college. Travis wanted to expand. He wanted to rent more land, buy more equipment, run a bigger operation. Dale told him no. Travis asked why. Dale said because they did not need to. Travis said land was available, prices were good, the timing was right. Dale said the timing was never right. Travis said Dale was being too cautious. Dale said maybe. Travis said he did not understand why Dale was not willing to grow. Dale said because growth was not the goal. Survival was. Travis did not understand that. Dale knew he would not. Not yet. In 2012, Travis asked Dale again about expanding. Dale said no again. Travis asked if Dale was ever going to retire. Dale said eventually. Travis asked when. Dale said when he was ready. Travis asked what he was supposed to do until then. Dale said learn. Travis said he had been learning for 4 years. Dale said 4 years was not very long. Travis got angry. He said Dale did not trust him. Dale said that was not true. Travis said then prove it. Dale asked how. Travis said let him make a decision. Dale asked what kind of decision. Travis said let him buy a piece of equipment. Dale asked what equipment. Travis said a new tractor. Dale asked why they needed a new tractor. Travis said they did not need one, but it would be a good investment. Dale asked how much. Travis said $90,000. Dale said no. Travis said Dale had spent $62,000 on the 1155 in 1981, and that was just as crazy. Dale said it was not the same. Travis asked why not. Dale said because in 1981 the bank called it the biggest mistake in county history, and Dale had spent 7 years proving them wrong, and he was not going to risk that now by making the same mistake his neighbors made back then. Travis said Dale was living in the past. Dale said maybe he was. Travis did not talk to him for 2 weeks. In 2015, the Massey Ferguson 1155 reached 15,000 hours. Dale had owned it for 34 years. It was the longest he had ever owned anything except his marriage. The tractor still started every morning. It still pulled every implement. It still worked. Travis had stopped asking Dale about expanding. He had stopped asking about buying equipment. He just worked. Dale knew Travis was frustrated, but Dale also knew that frustration was part of learning what farming actually was. It was not about growth. It was not about success. It was about survival. And survival meant knowing when not to take the risk everyone else was taking. In 2018, Dale turned 65. Travis was 36. Dale told Travis he was ready to start handing things over. Travis asked what that meant. Dale said it meant Travis could start making decisions. Travis asked what kind of decisions. Dale said equipment, planting, selling, all of it. Travis asked if Dale was retiring. Dale said not yet, but soon. Travis asked what Dale wanted him to do first. Dale said whatever he thought was right. Travis thought about that. Then he asked Dale a question. He asked if Dale regretted buying the 1155. Dale said no. Travis asked why not. Dale said because it taught him the only thing worth knowing. Travis asked what that was. Dale said it taught him that the right decision is the one you can live with after everyone else is gone. In 2020, Travis bought a piece of land, 240 acres at $400 an acre. He financed half of it. Dale co-signed the loan. It was the first time Dale had borrowed money in 32 years. Travis asked why Dale was willing to co-sign now when he had never been willing before. Dale said because Travis had spent 10 years learning when not to take a risk, and now Dale trusted him to know when to take one. Travis did not say anything to that. But that night, Travis walked out to the shed where the 1155 was parked and stood next to it for a long time. Dale watched him from the kitchen window. He did not go out. He just watched. And he thought about March 14th, 1981, and a dealership in Langdon, and a bank president who said lending him money would be the biggest mistake in county history. And Dale thought about all the men who had made different choices, men who had expanded when prices were high, and collapsed when prices fell. Men who had sold out, moved away, disappeared. And he thought about the fact that he was still here, still farming, still surviving. Not because the 1155 was a good tractor, though it was, but because Dale had learned the thing his father tried to teach him, and Dale had refused to hear. That farming was not about winning. It was about not losing. And the Massey Ferguson 1155 had been paid off for 32 years, and it still ran, and it was still here, and so was Dale.